What's up, team? Welcome to the video. We got Q&A today, a one-take show, grip it and rip it. Gonna answer some fun questions, but first, I'm putting on the screen the winners of the free signed book that I promised in the last video. I was actually planning on uploading much sooner than like a month. How long has it been? A month or a month and a half? Such is life. Amazing comments in that last video. If you are one of the winners, go ahead and email me, mike@ontheregimen.com, and send me your mailing address, and I'll get you a free signed copy of the book, Eat It, which is out now and available. So we're super pumped about that. Yeah, let's dive right in. Question numero uno is, and I got these from my Instagram story. I put a question sticker up about a month ago. So I'm a little delayed on things, but delayed is better than not uploading for 2 years, in my estimation. Number one, have you ever done steroids or TRT, testosterone replacement therapy? What are your thoughts on them? I have never done steroids or TRT. I am honored and flattered anytime that anyone asks me that or accuses me of that. I don't think this was an accusation, but there have been maybe a handful over the years. I kind of wish it was more. But no, I've never done any kind of performance-enhancing drug, steroid, testosterone replacement. I did really want to and considered low-dose test about 5 years ago now. So I'm 30 years old now. When I was 30, I remember, and the reason I was thinking about it was that I could basically be more productive and have more energy and not require as much sleep, like not sleep 7 to 9 hours per night, be able to work more was my mindset at the time, and still be able to have great lifts, get stronger, retain lean mass, stay lean, all of those things. And so I emailed a doctor, like a TRT doctor, and he prescribed me blood work, not prescribed, but like sent me a thing to go get a hormone panel. And I was hoping that my test was low. I didn't have any symptoms of low test, but I was just like, wouldn't it be sweet if my total test was like 250 and then I could get on injections? And my test was either 825 or 875 total test. And the quote unquote normal range, which there's some debate about, but is between 300 and 1,000. And yeah, so 825. It was. I'll find the email and the labs and put them on the screen here, but it was either 825 or 875. And so it was like, okay, well, for me, I was like, this isn't happening. There's absolutely no need to be on it. I felt good, and I'm glad that I didn't, because TRT makes a lot of sense for older men, right? If you're maybe late 40s, 50s, 60s, when your natural levels of testosterone are very low, to get on low dose test, to have your levels a little bit higher so you feel better, have more energy, have more sex drive, basically makes your life a lot better at that point. But what I see a lot of, especially in the fitness industry, are dudes who basically are not doing anything to naturally have a good hormone panel, meaning sleep isn't prioritized, micronutrients aren't prioritized, trying to stay too lean for too long a period of time, or get too lean, being in a deficit for too long, not eating enough calories, like all these things that are going to reduce your testosterone levels. And then without taking any action to improve those, consistent drinking / partying is another one, rather than taking an action to improve those things, just finding a doctor that'll give you tests. But when you're 25 years old, like if you start TRT at 25, you can go off of it. It's gonna be a process, but basically your mindset around TRT, in my opinion, should be, if you're going to start it, it's for the rest of your life. And so I'm happy that I didn't like lock myself into that, especially because there wasn't a lot of upside for me, and I was naturally in the higher end of the normal range. And I feel, now I'm 35, it's been 5 years, I still feel really good. I feel a little more like creaky, I guess, like random pains, random things, which comes with age. But I'm not planning on starting anytime soon. Although I would be curious to get blood work and see what my levels look like at this point in time. The only other thought I have on that, and I was planning on this being a little more rapid fire, now we're just going 5 minutes straight on testosterone, but the amount of men primarily, some men, some women, but men primarily, who are on TRT but claim natural, who are coaches or influencers or putting out content, posting their physique, giving, whether it's like a direct, if you do what I do, you can look like me, or they're indirectly saying that, is astounding, and it's scummy, and it's immoral in my opinion, and yeah, I'm not a fan of it, and it's so rampant in the fitness industry. If you want to be on TRT and or just take steroids, like if you want to win the Olympia, definitely take steroids, like if that's your goal. But if you're just a normal person and you want to have a little bit better physique, be a little bit leaner, have a little more of those cap delts, a little more upper trap, and you make that decision for yourself, amazing. But then don't post physique pictures and claim natural. Like, that's where I get annoyed, we'll say. Okay, since writing the book, have you continued to write minimally and not anything like fitness or business specific, more just journaling? But no, I haven't written a ton over the last, since the fall basically, so probably 7 or 8 months. Rest time in between switching legs, Bulgarian split squat for example, prioritize weight or rest? I love this question. Technically, it would be optimal to take a full rest period between each leg. So on a Bulgarian split squat, for example, hit 6 reps with your left leg, and if your rest time is 90 seconds or 2 minutes, rest that entire time. So rest 2 minutes, then hit your right leg, then rest 2 minutes, then hit your left leg again. The problem is if you're programming a lot of single leg work or single arm work, if you're programming a good amount of that, that just makes the workout so much longer. So what I have always done for myself and for clients is had almost no rest between legs. And then in an ideal world, start with your weaker leg, because almost everyone has one slightly stronger leg and arm. Start with the weaker leg. It's going to allow it to catch up over time. Obviously use the same weight on each leg. Don't use more weight on your stronger leg. But if I have, call it 2 to 3 minutes rest on a Bulgarian split squat early in the workout, I'm taking between 0 and 30 seconds between legs. If I'm like really winded, if it's a really hard first half of the set, I'll take 30 seconds. Otherwise, I'm not even setting the weights down. I'm going straight into the other leg. What is one thing that would dramatically improve the lives of most people? I like this question, and I'm going obvious, but if you're not implementing it, it might seem obvious, but once you implement it, you're going to notice the difference substantially and feel much, much, much better, and that is prioritizing sleep. So what does that mean? That means doing your best given the circumstances, right? If you have 4 young children and I don't know, maybe you work shift work, you have a job where you can't sleep in optimal hours or optimal conditions, I understand. But do the best you can to have a consistent bedtime and wake time, get enough sleep, probably somewhere between 7 to 9 hours. But even if you're pinched for whatever reason, family, work, anything else, on how much sleep you can get, do the rest of what I'm about to say, even if it's only 6 hours per night. Have comfortable bed and bedding. Set the room temp between 60 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know what that is in Celsius off the top of my head. Blackout curtains. Blackout curtains are probably the biggest one, and they're pretty inexpensive, and they make them so they look decent enough, right? They're not just, like, you can get blackout curtains in different colors if you care about style and decor and things of that nature, but having blackout curtains, like, there's research that supports any light getting on you during the night, whether that's from a street lamp outside your house, whether that's if you live in a city and there's lights outside during the night, obviously, or even random lights in the room, like an alarm clock light or various lights. Reducing that to as dark as you can get it is going to drastically improve your sleep quality. I might butcher the study, but basically they had one group in pitch black and one group in pitch black, but there was a dime size of blue light on the back of their knee during sleep. And so it's not like in your eyes or anything, right? It's not, you wouldn't think that you could notice that, but a dime size of blue light on the back of your knee led to a substantial reduction in REM, in rapid eye movement sleep, between those two. So massive. Blackout curtains are huge. 2022, the year of the blank. I almost don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx it, but I have a funny feeling that when I look back, 2022 is going to be the year of the comeback. And I don't just mean me, and I don't just mean content. I mean, in general, like, that's the spirit and the energy that I want to embody, and that you may as well in any area of your life where it makes sense over the next half of this year. Been ramping up, and I'm excited for it. What are your current fitness goals? I am what's called lean bulking, basically in a moderate to low calorie surplus, trying to gain 1 to 2 pounds of scale weight per month. I am tracking, like the difference between a lean bulk and a traditional bulk, I guess, would be, some would say food choice, like dirty bulk versus clean food bulk, but really it's, are you tracking and paying attention so that you're gaining a reasonable amount of weight so that a higher percentage of that weight can be muscle compared to body fat? Or are you bulking so you're just eating everything and you end up gaining 7 pounds per month on average, the majority of which will be body fat rather than muscle mass? I have it pretty dialed. I'm only 3 weeks in. My fitness game was pretty weak over COVID for a lot of it. 2022 has been much better. I basically was able to recomp in January, February, into March, and I've been getting slowly stronger, but that ended up plateauing with my scale weight being about the same. And you can only push the recomp dial so hard. Otherwise, you could just gain infinite muscle and lose infinite fat. That can't happen, obviously. So I've ramped calories up. I'll throw my macros on the screen. I like, when I'm in a surplus, I like low fat, high carb. I do think that the evidence behind the difficulty of storing carbohydrate directly as body fat is enough for me to want to do that, to minimize fat gain during a calorie surplus. I also love high carb for training performance, and especially for high volume weight training. So that is what I'm doing right now. Again, it's only been a few weeks, but it's just fun. It's fun seeing lifts go up a little bit faster. It's fun being able to do more volume. It's fun to like exist in life on a higher calorie intake, obviously. It doesn't make sense if someone is overweight or obese and needs to lose body fat for their health. Like, then bulking or being in a surplus doesn't make sense, but that's my goal right now. How's your golf game, Mike? My golf game is the best that it's been since I was in high school. I've only played 5 rounds this year. I actually think that being on a slightly higher intake leads to less fatigue and improved performance, even in something as simple as golf, because the last 2 rounds I played last week and the week before were 2 of the best rounds I've played in decades. So I'm quite pleased with that. Physique update / do you still have abs? I don't think we're gonna do a formal physique update right now. Yeah, they're there enough. But maybe I'll post on my Instagram like a actual, take pictures and maybe look at old pictures for comparison. I don't know. Fantasy football auction strategy. This is from my good friend Travis. I'm absolutely not divulging my strategy here on YouTube. Travis is what we call a wolf in sheep's clothing, where he's a vicious opponent and really smart and dominant, but he pretends he's not, and then he's buddy with everyone and like tries to get these trades through. It's like, no. I think he's first in the league right now too. Like, it's a 10-year league. I'm watching you, Trav. Should I take tren? No, if you don't know what tren is, don't Google it. And you absolutely should not take tren. I mean, we talked about steroids a little bit in this video. You should not take trenbolone. That's a bad idea in basically all circumstances. I advise against it. What is one unconventional view that you hold? Thought about this. I like my position here, and I think it actually is unconventional. I don't know what like mainstream thinks of this, but I think that quitting certain things is a really good idea. Now, it's very difficult to know when to quit and when to push through on a project, on a goal, on an ambition, on anything. And there are definitely times when you shouldn't quit, right? That's probably why consensus is anti-quitting. But there are times in my life, let me phrase it this way. Some of the best days of my life have been when I quit a thing that I knew that I wasn't in love with, that wasn't working for me anymore, that wasn't serving me anymore, that was misaligned with my life goals, my passions. The one that stands out was the day that I walked out of my corporate job, and like the weight lift off my shoulder, like the breaking of the chains was a feeling that's almost unmatched, and then redirected into something that I really enjoy, which is fitness. I mean, slowly, I didn't get there immediately, but I got there. Yeah, I can think of a couple other examples, but quitting something that isn't serving you, and I don't have a great answer on like how do you know if you should or when you should, but that is an unconventional belief that I hold. Thank you for watching the video. I plan on uploading more. Thank you for being patient with me. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. It helps it get more views and stuff, I think. At least it did in 2019 when I was uploading a little bit. The algorithm does work similar still, but thank you very much for watching this. I will see you soon.